Okay, so I have moved the Coolingstat from that junction box in the ceiling. The AC is running. And I relocated the Coolingstat down here. You can see the backside here where I put the box and relocated a couple of relays. So yeah, everything has worked out pretty good. And you can hear that it just shut off. We are at 65 degrees inside the truck camper right now. So, okay. Mission accomplished, and we'll see how it works at my next outing or the next hot day here. Okay, that concludes the air conditioning cooling control project I'm working on. I've got these here electrical boxes. This is the one that I'm going to put in up in the ceiling to replace the one that's there, if it will fit. I'm not sure that it will actually fit up there yet. And then I'm going to, oh, and I want to replace that because these screw tabs are all broken up on the other one. So I'm gonna replace that box and then relocate the Coolingstat down to here. And so I'm going to put one of these boxes in here. And that should work out pretty good. And then if that other box doesn't work on the ceiling, I have a second one to put in up there too. So I didn't get to go camping this weekend, but next weekend I think I might break down and go for it. Fishing up in the Gifford National Forest. Alright, so I have traced the wires. The air conditioner is the 120 amp breaker in here. So what I'm going to do is the wire that comes to the breaker is the top wire here, and unfortunately it's just a little bit short to reach over here. So what I figure all I can do is reach to about here. It's going to be about 6 inches short. So what I'm going to do is I've just got a wire coming in through an extra hole in the breaker panel, and I am going to use it as a switch leg to go from the wire will connect to the hot side, the breaker side, go to the black wire on the Coolingstat, and then this will get black tape on it because it's a return of power, and connect to the black wire that was on the breaker, and then it will go up to the air conditioner and then ground out or return neutral to the bus bar here in the breaker panel. So I'm just going to use the breaker panel as a junction box. It's been done many times. It's nothing to worry about. And the Coolingstat is going to go right there. So it's a pretty good location. It's low. The cool air will fall, and so it'll get a good reading for control there. And so anyway, I have my multi-tool here. Good old Bosch multi-tool with a crummy blade, but it's only got to make a couple of cuts in a thin piece of panel, so let's go for it. Okay, that was nice and loud. And there we go. So, I think I'll have to do some fine tuning in here. That piece of plywood behind there is a little bit too tight. So, there's always something or another. But it's just a piece of plywood here with a couple of magnetic switches mounted to it. So, I will just shift that over a little bit. And that'll take care of that. Okay, so let me continue on with this, and I'll show you the finished up product when I get to it. So here's our electrical panel, and I'm just going to trim the jacket off the wire in there to be able to make the connection I want to make. So let's cut this back. This cut right down the center of the jacket. Be careful not to slice yourself. The breaker for the air conditioner is off. Okay, now we have our wiring is all connected in here. We've got our ground wire is up on the bus bar, ground bus bar. The existing neutral wire is still on the neutral bus bar. The switch leg, the black wire, connects to the breaker, goes to the Coolingstat. The return on the Coolingstat comes back here, and we put black tape on that white wire. That white wire ties to the black wire that was in the breaker, and that goes up to the air conditioner. So now we're just going to put some black tape on the white wire in the switch box, and then we will connect up the switch box, the Coolingstat in the switch box here. So let's put some black tape on that. And that tells the next person that it is a switch leg and a live hot wire. Okay. Then we will wire nut the black lead of the Coolingstat to the black wire. These yellow wire nuts are not my favorite. I prefer the white wire nuts made by Ideal. It's just a much better quality wire nut. Then we take the red wire, make sure it's all twisted together nicely, and we connect that up to the neutral that is black taped to denote that it is still a live wire, and that is going to be carrying the current back to the breaker panel, where it will connect to the black wire that was on the breaker, and it goes up to the air conditioner. There is no ground wire connection. Yeah, no ground wire connection, so we're just not going to worry about it. We'll just put a wire nut on the end of it, and that'll be the end of that. And for screws on the wire box, I used some cabinet hinge screws because they go flush to the surface. So, okay, now let's put the Coolingstat on here. not a fan of using these multi screwdrivers on some things because the screw head is so thick with all the holders. You have that screw tip that goes inside of this, that goes inside of that, and now it's getting pretty thick, and so you're rubbing the thermostat. So, alright, let's get her all screwed together here. See if I can find that hole. And get it all screwed together. Okay, finally we have it. Okay, I will turn the thermostat all the way up. Let's crank on the power. Now let me turn on the air conditioner. You have to turn the air conditioner, the temperature on the Coolingstat all the way down below what the actual temperature is. So right now the actual temperature is 70, so it's not going to kick on because it's 70. But if you want it colder than 70, you turn it till it turns on. So right now it kicks on at 65, shuts off at 68, 9. Okay, so I will turn that on for a minute, see what happens. The breaker and everything is all working fine. Let's go take a look in here so you can see the top 20 amp breaker is where the switch leg connects into the breaker. And then the white wire comes back out. You see that bottom white wire coming into the box, and you black tape the white wire, connect it to the black wire that was in the breaker, and that goes up to the air conditioner, powers it, and the neutral white wire from the air conditioner comes back and goes into the neutral bus bar and completes the circuit. And the Coolingstat is the temperature control. So now, instead of having the air conditioner run all the time, the fan stays on and the air conditioning compressor will cycle, but you have that loud fan running all the time. You hear that fan? So if you can cool the thing down and then have the fan shut off with temperature control, then it's a much better situation. You can hear yourself think, because that fan is pretty loud. And anybody that has an air conditioning unit that does this knows exactly what I'm talking about. This is not a ducted air conditioner. This is an air conditioner that comes right off the ceiling unit. Okay, so there's the DC side, here's the AC side. This here is the white, green, and big black wire up here. Those are the power wires from the shore cord. And let me show you the back side of the box here, if I can get in there. So there is the back of the box. So that looks like it'll be pretty good if I can get this stupid camera show you. It's there. Now how's that? Okay. Alright, so that concludes this project. And we'll just wait a few minutes here to see if the Coolingstat begins to cycle the air conditioner. I can feel it getting cooler down here right now as we speak, as I speak. Alright, so let me wrap this up, put the cover back on, and put things away. So that's good. I got a few camper projects done today. Okay, we have things restored in here. There is the back of the box and the wiring. Everything is restored again. Okay. And there is the Coolingstat control. And you just heard it cycle off. So it is working. Which is nice. A little bit more of a bugger to get it in there than I thought. But so now, I got a couple of minutes of peace and quiet without that stupid fan running. So let's see, give it a couple of minutes or a minute and it'll kick back on again. It's already cycled a few times, but I've been busy messing with trying to get things to work. So let's just see what happens here for a couple of minutes. And if you do have a situation where you want to run that, you turn the temperature control all the way down and it will kick on. That would be, for instance, in the dead of winter and you want to run the heat strip. Turn it all the way down, that will turn on the power and you can run the heat strip. Then the heat strip will warm the room and raise the threshold even farther up. So the fan has been off here for about a minute now. So let me put the cover back on here. Oh, come on. Everything is just so difficult one-handed. Okay, and then let me clean up the rest of my junk down here. And let the camera run here for a minute so you can hear the air conditioner cycle. And as you can see, I restored the old cover plate. Where is it? Right. I cannot see hardly a thing without my glasses on, my readers. So that's the cover plate. There's the air conditioner. And it's been off a couple of minutes now. So let's see what happens.